because it's dangerous to say things like that.
Well, it's incendiary, and then it raises in my mind, all right, who is the real Barack Obama? He said that I had no idea, none whatsoever, that Jeremiah Wright, I sat in the pews for 20 years, he is like family to me, and even his praise in this speech. Now, the timing of this is interesting, because I had interviewed on Hannity and Combs, I interviewed Reverend Wright. We got into a big battle about black liberation theology. That was in March of 2007. Wright had been disinvited to give the invocation at his announcement he's running for president just a couple of months earlier.
Right.
So Wright is there. This is June now of 2007. So Wright is already a controversial figure here. Now it's interesting as this whole thing goes on. Then he has to give this big speech in Philly on race. So I decided we'd put the two speeches together, and we'll take a look at one, we'll take a look at the other. In other words, this is what the media didn't report on. This is what the media didn't say. Very controversial things by Barack Obama that was never reported on versus the big speech, which I believe was done out of political expediency. We'll let our audience decide. Let's show them side by side.
I've got to give a special shout out to my pastor, the guy who puts up with me, counsels me, listens to my wife complain about me. He's a friend and a great leader. Everybody give an extraordinary welcome to my pastor, Dr. Jeremiah Wright, Jr.
I have already condemned in unequivocal terms the statements of Reverend Wright that have caused such controversy and in some cases pain. For some, nagging questions remain. Did I know him to be an occasionally fierce critic of American domestic and foreign policy? Of course.
When Hurricane Andrew struck in Florida, people said, look at this devastation. We don't expect you to come up with your own money here. What's happening down in New Orleans? Where's your dollar? Where's your Stafford Act money? Makes no sense. Tells me the bullet hasn't been taken out. Tells me that somehow the people down in New Orleans, they don't care about as much.
Reverend Wright's comments were not only wrong, but divisive. Divisive at a time when we need unity, racially charged at a time when we need to come together to solve a set of monumental problems, problems that are neither black or white or Latino or Asian, but rather problems that confront us all.
Who's the real Barack Obama, Tucker? Two very different people.
They're speaking different language, different cadences, different accents, different gestures. I mean, the falseness here is overwhelming. And I would say that whether he was putting on a Southern accent or an Asian accent, it doesn't matter. He is playing a role in one of these cases. It's not clear which one. I assume in the Hampton speech he's putting on a persona he doesn't normally occupy to pander to the crowd, but who knows? Either way, you are seeing a remarkable exhibit of falseness on display. There's no other explanation for this. And by the way, I would say this about any politician.